I keep walking through Genesis, and chapter 41 opens with time still moving. 2 full years have passed since the cupbearer walked free, while Joseph is still waiting in prison. But heaven has not forgotten his name. The answer was already moving while Joseph waited. One night Pharaoh dreams, and Egypt begins to change. Pharaoh stands beside the Nile, watching 7 healthy cows rise from the river. Then 7 other cows crawl up behind them, ugly, thin, wasted down to bone. The starving cows swallow the healthy ones. Pharaoh wakes disturbed, then dreams again. 7 full heads of grain grow on one stalk, strong and heavy with promise. Then 7 thin heads appear, scorched by the east wind, and the weak grain consumes the good. Morning comes without peace. Egypt's wise men cannot explain what he saw. Then the cupbearer remembers, 2 years late, but right on God's time. He tells Pharaoh about a Hebrew prisoner who interpreted dreams in the jail. He remembers Joseph's interpretation came true. Suddenly Joseph's name leaves the prison and enters the palace. They hurry Joseph out of the dungeon. He shaves, changes his clothes, and stands before Pharaoh. Pharaoh says he has heard that Joseph can interpret dreams. Joseph does not grab the glory. He says God will give Pharaoh the answer. Pharaoh tells the dreams, the cows, the grain, the strong consumed by the weak. Joseph explains that both dreams carry one message. God is showing Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great abundance are coming, but after them 7 years of severe famine will rise, so crushing that the abundance before it will almost be forgotten. The dream was repeated because God has firmly decided it. Joseph also gives Pharaoh a plan. Choose a wise and discerning man, place him over the land, appoint officers during the 7 good years. Take 1/5 of the harvest, store grain in the cities, so when famine comes, Egypt will not be destroyed.
God can turn a prison into a doorway, a waiting room into a throne.
What looked forgotten
was still being written.
Joseph lost years,
but he never lost the promise. When the moment came,
one dream.
open the door no man could keep closed.
Yeah. Pharaoh looks at his servants and asks where they could find another man with the spirit of God like Joseph. Then he turns to the prisoner and gives him authority over Egypt. Only Pharaoh himself will stand above him. He places his signet ring on Joseph's hand, dresses him in fine linen, and sends him riding in the 2nd chariot in one day. Joseph goes from dungeon to government. He is 30 years old when he begins serving Pharaoh. The pit could not erase the promise. Slavery could not erase it.
False accusation could not erase it.
Prison could not erase it.
Delay could not erase it.
Pharaoh gives Joseph an Egyptian name and gives him a Senate as his wife during the years of abundance. Joseph travels through the land, storing grain beyond counting. Before the famine comes, Joseph has 2 sons. He names the first Manasseh because God has helped him move beyond the pain of his former trouble. He names the second Ephraim because God has made him fruitful in the land of his suffering. Their names become testimony. Pain did not get the last word. Then the 7 years of plenty end, exactly as Joseph said. The famine begins, it spreads beyond Egypt, but Egypt has bread. The people cry to Pharaoh for food and he tells them,
Go to Joseph.
Joseph opens the storehouses. The grain gathered during abundance now becomes survival during disaster. People from other lands come to Egypt to buy food because the famine is severe everywhere. I keep walking, thinking about what Joseph could not see behind prison walls. He did not know Pharaoh was going to dream. He did not know the cupbearer would remember. He did not know his gift would become the answer for a kingdom. He only knew how to stay faithful where he had been placed.
Genesis 41 shows me
That preparation matters before the crisis comes. Joseph did not wait for famine to start building storehouses. Wisdom acted during abundance. Faith did not ignore the warning. Faith prepared for what God revealed. God's timing can feel late without being late. 2 years passed after the cupbearer forgot Joseph. But when Pharaoh needed an answer,
Joseph was ready.
the delay did not destroy his calling. It developed the man who would carry the responsibility. So I leave Genesis 41 with Joseph standing over Egypt. The dreamer thrown into a pit now protects nations from famine. The prisoner now holds Pharaoh's ring. The forgotten man becomes the man everyone must come to for bread. And the story is not finished, because somewhere beyond Egypt,
Joseph's brothers are about to feel the famine too.
the same hunger spreading across the land is preparing to bring an old family back into the same room.
I keep walking, I keep walking.
I keep walking.